Alright guys, in this video we're going to be talking about selling your Pokemon cards. Hi, I'm Joshua. I run Monster Mod Studio with my wife Nicole. We're selling some Japanese, Chinese sealed products as well as doing some Pokemon card singles at card shows. So what do I mean by selling Pokemon cards? So story time. I went into a local video game store, so not like like a GameStop where you can buy, sell, trade video games, but this wasn't GameStop. It was just a smaller like local store. They also sell other collectibles, comic books, toys, plushies, that kind of stuff. They also have Pokemon cards. They have Pokemon singles. So I knew that they had singles, and literally earlier in the week I went to check it out to see like just what they had in stock, what their deal was. And they got some good cards that I would definitely get. Good cards I was looking to potentially get for the table, help like fill some stuff out. And the staff was short and not rude, but definitely like they just seemed annoyed or I don't even know, arrogant, something like that. So that immediately turned me off. And I know that nerdy people look a certain way, and I don't always fit into that aesthetic. Like I do a little bit, but you know, if I wear jeans and like my Carhartt jacket and this beanie and this beard, they kind of immediately assume like, oh, you're just like a blue-collar dad or whatever. You're definitely not our people. So they're a little bit standoffish, I guess. That's the word we'll use. And their prices seemed like fair enough. They basically just price off a TCG player. Nothing's labeled, so you have to ask about absolutely everything, which is crazy because like you have hundreds of cards here, and I literally have to ask you about every single one. Which which I do understand. Prices move up and down. Like I'm in the game too, so I do get that you have to continually price things, and it would be laborious to every couple days to re-sticker the entire lot. So but you're a video game store who is just kind of dabbling in, you know, I mean, yeah, you do have maybe 100, 200, 300 cards, but it's a very small little case you have that has Pokemon cards. So this is really not your bread and butter. So, but yeah, you're still, you know, you're after market prices on everything. All right. So then I asked like if they take stuff in on, you know, sell, trade, that kind of deal, and they do 20 to 40%. Now this for me is going to be the heart of this video right here, is this idea of if you were to go in and sell your cards to somewhere, let's say this store, like what would you get? 20 to 40% depending if you're selling versus trading. So obviously then the trade you'd get store credit on whatever's there. So there's actually two young fellas, I would say like early 20s, maybe late teens, that kind of deal. So everyone just looks young to me now, but they were in the middle of buying whatever collection, in my brain going like, and that was after I had heard the 20 to 40% take-in margin. Like that is extortionately low, in my opinion, almost criminally low. So like if I sold stuff and got 20% of its market value, that's insane. Now I do understand that shops, stores, storefronts, brick and mortars, they have a high margin that they need to hit every month. Rent is always going up. It never goes down. Utilities go up, business insurance, employees, like I get it. The overhead for a store is massive, but for a shop that is not specifically into like trading cards, video games is 95% of their stock. So to take something that's so low, but I also get it too. It's that weird give and take of like, I get it. It's a high risk for you on Pokemon cards to take these in, but it's not really. Come on, Pokemon cards aren't going anywhere. You could go anywhere and sell these off to somebody. So the 20 to 40% just seems almost like thievery. It's just so low. And in my brain, like these two young kids that were selling, like it seemed to be a pretty good stock because they had two guys working on, I assume they were working on that. That's what it looked like they were doing. But you could go on eBay, and I get it, eBay's a headache, but you could flip those for even, let's just go liberal and say you pay 20% in fees and still get 80% of your stuff. You go to a card show, and again, liberally, you could go to a card show and sell to a vendor at 70%. You could go to Facebook Marketplace, sell it yourself. So I'm a little confused on why you would go to this video game store specifically and sell these cards anywhere between 20 to 40%. That just seems insane. Because even, let's just say the high end, you got 40%. You could have taken it to a card show, and there's no shortage of these around here, and you could have sold them at like 70%. More than likely, if you had highly desirable cards, high end cards, so like, you know, very liquid cards or high value cards, you could easily start to negotiate 70 to 75, 80, 85%. So to go and sell somewhere and get 20, 40% just seems crazy. Now, I did take a look at like even like TCG Player, and like I was looking at their fee structure, and it's not great. They could be taking anywhere between, I would say, 13+%, but even so, like, 20% on a lot is just low. Obviously, it's got me riled up if I'm making a video about it, and I just find it super interesting. And I've heard that some of the other actual like LGS stores, so actual like I call them nerd stores. So other nerd stores, not in video games, in trading cards and modeling, some Warhammer, etc. They're taking it 40 to 60%. So that's like, it's better, but man, like that's a huge percentage like to take. But I guess if you just don't know any better, or I'm also struggling to understand the motivation of why would I accept 20 to 40% on this, on these cards, when if you're involved at all, you know this stuff has value, and you know there's multiple avenues for you to liquidate your collection. So to take an 80% cut, you know, is just massive to me. And yeah, so I have mixed feelings about it for sure, clearly, as I'm working out live in this video. And yeah, it's just wild. So I'd be really interested to hear what everybody else thinks about selling, I guess, Pokemon cards to LGSs or just other stores in general, and taking anywhere between 20 to 40%, even 40 to 60%. That one, again, I understand a lot more, just because just the overhead on running a brick and mortar. But man, 20% it just seems, but obviously people do it because they have cards. So yeah, anyway, I'd be interested to see what everybody else in the comments thinks about this. And I don't know what to even do about it, I guess, other than just gripe about it here on YouTube. So, but anyway, I run monstermodstudio.com if you want to check out some Chinese and Japanese Pokemon booster boxes. We definitely appreciate it. Thanks, guys.